Welcome to Psychology of the Daf. We are in Gemara Succah, Daf Zion, and today we're going to learn marriage counseling from the house of Hillel, from Beis Hillel. Now, our Gemara in Amud Beis records a dispute between the house of Shammai and the house of Hillel regarding if one can fulfill the mitzvah Succah properly if his head and most of his body is in the Succah, but his table is in the house. Beis Shammai holds that the rabbis forbade this setup as it could too easily lead to being drawn to eating in the house because your table is there. Now, see Tosfos Yom Tov Mishnah Sukkah, Perek Beis Mishnah Zayin for a discussion of what Beis Shammai would hold if post facto he ate with such a setup, but was still careful to eat in the Sukkah. The simple presumption, though, is that the rabbis forbade it, but post facto he would fulfill the mitzvah. This is important, as we shall see later. The Mishnah in Sukkah, Perek Beis Mishnah Zayin, goes on to record a story about this dispute. The house of Hillel offers a known story as proof to their point. Basically, what happened was that Beis Hillel said there was an incident where the elders of Beis Shammai and the elders of Beis Hillel went to visit Rabbi Yochanan ben Choranet, and they found him such that he was sitting with his head and most of his body in the sukkah and his table in the house. And they said nothing to him. Even Beis Shammai didn't object. So the house of Hillel was bringing that as a proof from that story. Beis Shammai said to them, "Is there a proof from that story? That's not what happened. Rather, they actually said to him, if you were accustomed to act in this manner, you've never fulfilled the mitzvah of Sukkah in your life." Now the Maharal Nesivos Olam, Nesivos Hakaas, Perek Aleph, brings this incident and discusses Shammai's and Hillel's approach in really a remarkable way. The Gemara in Eruvin, the Maharal tells us, Gemara in Eruvin, Yud Gimel Amud Beis, tells us that the halacha is generally ruled in accordance with the house of Hillel because they were gentle, forbearing, and studied the opinion of the house of Shammai in addition to their studies, and even mentioned the opinion of the house of Shammai first, out of respect. Now, the Maharal notes that even though students of Shammai were considered intellectually superior, as we see in Yevamis Daf Yud Dalet Amud Aleph, it's quoted over there, they were mechadedi tvei. The students of the house of Shammai were very sharp intellectually. They did not merit to arrive at the halacha. How could the less intellectually advanced students of Hillel arrive at the halacha over the students of Shammai? Maharal explains that halacha requires the ability of equanimity and forbearance, because the halacha itself occupies and connotes a golden mean, a path of moderation. Literally, the Hebrew word halacha means pathway, and one walks down a pathway, we stay away from the extremes because we do not want to fall off. We literally stay in the middle of the road. The house of Shammai was intolerant and impatient. One of the citations Maharal offers to prove that the house of Shammai was intolerant was this Mishnah in Sukkah. Maharal seems to be saying that it was not patient or opportune for the elders of Shammai to rebuke Rabbi Yochanan while they were paying a social visit. Now, at least he held that the rebuke in such a harsh manner, stating, if you were accustomed to act in this manner, you have never fulfilled the mitzvah of Sukkah in your life, was not the right way to go. This especially makes sense according to the opinions that even the house of Shammai hold that post facto a person does fulfill the mitzvah, as we see discussed in Tosfos Brachos, Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. So, remarkably, the Maharal is criticizing the house of Shammai for impatience and intolerance. I'll add one thought. When we have disagreements with the people we love, we should consider using the three-step methodology of the house of Hillel. Number one, a gentle and forbearing tone. Number two, we make every effort to try to understand the other side's point of view. Number three, when engaging in discussion, we be open with the other side's point of view and try to understand them first.